first off, I was interested, Adam, in I guess the transition between, you know, film and television series, because I know the film came out and I saw it and I think reviewed it when it came out, and then I don't remember. I don't think we talked then. I don't think I interviewed you then, but I maybe read another interview that was sort of about the process of you trying to then create and develop it into a TV series. But I guess how difficult was that, pushing that boulder up the hill?
Well, it wasn't difficult at all, actually. It was such a natural progression from the movie to the show. As we were finishing the show, as we were finishing the movie, the world was completely changing around us. The movie was solely about the surveillance cameras that we live in front of every day.
Right.
That's how the movie started, and when we started production. By the time we were finishing editing, YouTube was a household name. MySpace was a very common destination for a lot of people.
Right.
Facebook was just starting to be talked about. Twitter was just starting to be talked about. And suddenly, everybody had a camera in their pocket everywhere they went. And so it just seemed like a natural that if the movie was about everybody being captured on surveillance camera and Big Brother, you know, watching everything we do, that the next step would be bringing into the fold Little Brother and all of the surveillance we put ourselves under voluntarily every day, tweeting everything we're up to, Facebooking everywhere we are, filming our friends and snapping pictures of ourselves and putting them up online to the world. So that's how the show kind of evolved. And when we talked with Showtime about the idea of doing it as a show, they got excited, and we did the show for Showtime.
Nice. I'd be interested, Marcus, in your perspective on this. This is maybe a little bit esoteric, but I've had this conversation with friends, right? The exact phenomenon of which you speak, that the idea that everyone has a camera all the time, we're all kind of wired, even if you're not personally on, you know, Facebook and Twitter and these things. Any public event anywhere, there are going to be cameras on you. And so, ergo, there will be no event of historical note of which we will not have footage.
Right.
And the idea of that is kind of weird. And I guess one of the correlative things that I'm interested in is like the way that sort of bounces around in our head and the way it impacts our thinking. Like, we live in tremendously safe times compared to maybe thousands of years ago. We have fewer and fewer real predatory threats against our actual existence. But because we can see terrible things happen in Haiti or around the world, there's this sense of like constant pressure and anxiety. I feel, at least, that kind of encroaches on us. I don't know. Do you guys, what do you think about maybe that subject?
I think there's also like a funny sense of like
Scoot on
a kind of a funny sense that goes like of like judgment too, because you can see all of this stuff, and all of a sudden everybody can do it, and everybody can become a critic of all that stuff. I mean, there's obviously huge, like the things going on in Syria right now.
Right.
The only things we're seeing right now are because people have camera phones. The
Right.
press isn't in there with cameras and stuff like that, so we can see all of that stuff, which is fantastic about it. But then there's all the stuff that happens with kids. You know, every nut in the world can post stuff and make his own thing, and everybody can judge everything else on top of it. And I think that's where it gets a little wacky and crazy, and sort of out of hand. At the same time, it's an incredibly useful tool.
Yeah.
Speaking of people being able to, you know, that everybody's a critic, you know, and actually everybody's always been a critic, but now everybody's a critic with a worldwide, you know,
Right.
audience. Here's a little fun game you can play. I swear to God, I've done this. It's fun. Go on IMDb and click to your favorite movie, and you can make the viewer reviews in different order. So if you click liked it first, you get the best reviews first. Click hated it, then you get the worst reviews first. So I did go. You know, go to The Godfather, right?
Right.
Click hated it. There's all these people who, you know, hate The Godfather, but then you click on their name and see what else they've reviewed and what they've liked. Police Academy 4, greatest movie of all time.
Right.
The Godfather, piece of shit. Hilarious. Anyway, I digress.
But that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Well, Marcus, I guess talk a little bit about how you came to be involved in the project.
I auditioned, you know, just through my agent, and read the script and liked it, and I'd seen the movie, so I knew all about it and everything like that, and got the part, and what was really attractive about it, as from an acting point of view, was it's different than the usual episodic television stuff you do, where there's which is great too, but it's very, there's the master shot, then we move in for the close up, and we turn around and all that kind of thing. This was challenging and really fun at the same time because it was so theatrical in a sense, and relied you rehearsed very little, and then you just kind of let it rip, and it really was about the energy. This is from an acting point of just strictly an acting point of view. The energy that happened, who knew what was going to happen next? It was very method in that sense. So it was really, really fun and really challenging because you don't really get a chance to do that. There was an improvisation. At the same time, there was lines in the scene. There was an improvisation kind of feel to it that kept it very real, which made sense because of the kind of thing that it was.
Right.
So at the same time, you had to be mindful of the camera and not be over the top, which was difficult because there was some very emotional stuff, and relaxed at the same time. So it was a very challenging, cool, challenging kind of thing to do for a camera, whereas sometimes you do that just in a play or an improvisatory exercise or something like that. So it was really kind of cool, and you had to forget about, which way am I facing, what am I doing, all that. You just do it, and it was the energy that he captured that was the most important thing. So it was a really cool exercise to do something like that acting-wise. Very, very different.